left-wing creators that we trust, like pretty big names, you know, and I'm not going to call them out or anything. But they were passing on misinformation, like they were providing misinformation on their videos. And I think we've gotten to a like a rhythm, if you will, where we trust each other so much in the creator space, in the TikTok universe, you know, YouTube. We trust our independent media sources that we haven't been double checking. We see another creator say something and we'll just run with it. And I'm saying the collectively, I'm not pointing anybody out, right? And I caught myself doing this, but you would normally just believe what they're telling you. Something didn't seem quite right. So we went and looked, and come to find out it wasn't what they were saying. Like they were either confusing two different stories, which is I think what happened in the one instance. But there was another instance specifically where a couple creators did this. So it was about the VA a VA bill. So there was a VA bill that the Biden
Home
administration,
Reformation Act.
yes, that the Biden administration started right under their administration a few years ago, and it expired in May, and it made it so that VA homeowners, veteran homeowners, you know, that were veterans, could get an interest rate cut down to 2%, 2.5%, so that they could better afford their mortgage and wouldn't lose their house. And that expired in May, and it was allowed to lapse. And there was a bunch of articles that were written saying, you know, Trump administration and Congress allows this to lapse. You know, this great thing for veterans, and now veterans are going to lose their homes. Well, Congress just fixed that. Pretty much, they just fixed it. They brought a new bill to the floor, and Trump signed it. Only the story coming out of the left was that Trump signed a thing that took away the Biden era
Right.
program and protections that allowed veterans to keep their home and get that 2.5%, when it was the exact opposite. He was just signing a brand new bill. So you could see what the problem is there.
Right. So when I saw it, it's a creator that's kind of new to me, but he's pretty big, and I found him to be very credible. But he was like, you see this right here? This is, you know, something that was put in place to help veterans stay in their homes. But Trump just signed legislation that takes away those protections because they felt that it wasn't fiscally responsible. So now they're saying that these special people, our veterans, are not so special, and they don't deserve that 2.5% mortgage. So the new legislation takes away, it's not the mortgage percentage rate that is the thing. They've finagled it a little bit. I think they take their late payments and put them to the back of their loan. So they're not forced to, you know, foreclose on their homes, but it's not reducing the amount of interest that the government is getting, because that was their argument. Like, it's costing us too much money to reduce the mortgage interest rate that low. So they decided to flip it over. So it looked like he was saying, this is what the Biden-Harris administration did, and they decided that they're going to undo it. And so that's what Trump did. And I had no reason to believe it wasn't true. So I just came home, whipped up the laptop, and I was just looking for more information to substantiate it so that I could have it in front of me so I could make a video. And I couldn't find it. And I'm like looking, and I'm like, and it was co-sponsored by John Ossoff. We love John Ossoff, right? It's like, so now it's like a creator I trust, and now you're saying it's a bad thing, but someone, a senator that we really think is on our side is co-signing. I'm like, is anything's possible in this administration, right? So I'm digging and digging and digging. I still can't find anything. So I went into the comments and I said, I'm reading this now, and I don't see where the protections are being stripped away. It seems like, and the VFW, the Mortgage Brokers Association, and John Ossoff co-sponsored it. So as I'm researching sincerely, what am I missing? And I checked today, I still haven't gotten a response. So I'm hoping that he saw it and checked and realized that maybe it was an error. And then that night I was going into work and I saw another even bigger creator that was the title of it was Name 'em and Shame 'em. And it was a list of all these Democrats, right? A list of all these Democrats.
17 Democrats, yeah.
Yes, that voted against sending aid over to Gaza, right? And they were like, they're going to say it's because of this, and they're going to say it's because of that. And it's the usual suspects in some cases, and some folks you'll be surprised at. But we need to blast them and blast this out because this is enough is enough, right? So because we know that that ship is starting to turn a little bit within the Democrats, the Democratic Party, where they're not so willing to just be like, but it's Israel. I mean, we have to support them. It's Israel. Yeah. They're kind of like, this is kind of some bullshit. And the images that are coming out, they're starting to be like, I can't really be associated with this. So I was inclined to believe it at first because I know the Democrats are starting to say no on things, but this seemed like the thing they wouldn't be saying no on. So I did some digging and I texted Lisa and I was like, can you look into this? And what she found was like, okay, there's some agencies out there that are not really providing the aid the way like it had been done. And so that's what they said no to the new agencies, not the old. And so it's like, we've got to be really, really careful. Tell them what you found.
Yeah. So they conflated two stories. There was one story where Democrats voted against sending offensive weapons to Israel. So that's huge, right? They're like defensive weapons, right? You know, the Iron Dome to shoot missiles down, that are fine. No more offensive weapons, no more rifles, no more, bombs, like none of that. We're not sending any of that. Then the other thing was, it was the GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. And it's a newer foundation that was created like just in the last like year or so. And they found out through their investigations that this front was working with Israel's military to set up like aid stations. And when people would come to get the aid, they would shoot them. Women, kids, innocent people. And when those reports came out and the footage came out, the Democrats were like, nope. You know what I mean? So 17 still voted to still give that company the money to provide the aid, even though they're not really providing it. They're using it as bait. You know what I mean? Like, so to speak, like they're really using it as bait. But most of the Democrats voted to not do this anymore, to not send this money to this GHF Foundation anymore, to send it to Red Cross and the old school aid companies that have been doing it for years and that we know are providing aid, know that we'll get in there and provide medicine and do what they're supposed to be doing, because these are tried and true organizations that we know we can trust, instead of sending it to this GHF that even if the reports are the exception, not the rule, nobody should be working with Israel to provide bait so that they can shoot innocent people trying to come and get food, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I get calling the Democrats out that didn't vote for that, but don't say they voted against sending aid, right? Like Danny said a lot, right? Context matters. They voted to continue to give money to this GHF. So is it possible that they don't know? They haven't heard the stories yet, haven't seen the pictures? I get, you know what I mean? Like benefit of the doubt, they might not know yet. It took a while for some of these other Democrats to get on board with stop sending weapons, right? The tide is shifting.